If you haven't signed in yet, please raise your hand and we'll get the sign-in sheet over to you. Want to try to see who's here tonight, get a reasonable count. Also, if you've had dinner, we have a dinner list going around. If you signed on there, great. We'll also be collecting for that. And looks like my wife has all the money next to her, so she's the treasurer for tonight.
Another job, Jim?
We'll start in just a half second here.
That's not going to happen, Alan. You know.
It will. It will.
Are you standing where I'm standing with council?
You talk to Fran.
Okay.
Tell that to Fran. See you later.
35.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, why don't we get started? And if I don't know if you have an agenda in front of you, however, I'm going to start off by pointing out, if you hadn't heard about this already, and Helen, I want to extend to you our condolences to you on Bob's passing, and I'd like to suggest a moment of silence here in Bob's memory. Thank you. We're going to, well actually before I do anything more on that, I do want to read a note from Helen here. And this is to the Belknap County Republican Committee. To members of the Belknap County Republican Committee, thank you so very much for all of the caring expressions of concern and condolence at the time of Bob's death. Bob loved his involvement in this group as treasurer for so many years. He was a dedicated Republican and a proud American. Thanks again to everyone, very sincerely, Helen Holbrook. Thank you, Helen. That's very nice. And now, why don't we do the Pledge of Allegiance? And seeing as how we have a guest speaker here, Wayne, why don't you lead us in the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. The Secretary's report. I'll read this to everyone. Karen Brickner could not be here this evening. The meeting was called to order by Alan Glassman at 6:30 with 27 in attendance. Alan thanked Nancy Leroy for filling in for Secretary Karen Brickner, and I will footnote that with that Nancy Leroy has again offered to be our secretary for this evening. Thank you, Nancy. And that was at the July 13th meeting. Alan pointed out that next year's Mount Washington cruise will be held on Friday, June 1st, not June 3rd as had been previously reported. And by the way, I'll just footnote that and say that we have made our deposit for that, and so we're locked into that date, so we're all set.
The tickets ready?
Tickets aren't quite ready. They'll be ready tomorrow morning, Elaine, and I expect you to be selling them tomorrow, starting tomorrow. Dawson Ellis, a 12-year-old young Republican from Guilford, was called upon to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Dawson had attended a breakfast which hosted Ann Romney as a guest speaker. He has been invited to come to our meetings in the future. The Belknap County Barbecue, originally scheduled for Sunday, August 28th, was canceled following a unanimous voice vote in favor of planning a fall event. Plans for the fall event will be made shortly. And I'll also footnote on that one that on Sunday, August 28th, Hurricane Irene hit here. So we knew something that somebody else didn't. Thanks Bill Tobin and Faith Tobin for canceling the barbecue that day. I don't know how you did it. The Belknap County Republicans will have a booth at the County 4-H Fair on August 13th and 14th at a cost of $90. Put to a vote. This expenditure was approved unanimously. Committee members and presidential campaign staffs have been invited to help man the booth. So far, Governor Romney's staff has accepted the invitation to help out. And you'll be hearing from Caitlin Woodward, who was the person who showed up for Governor Romney and manned the booth for us. Is that man or woman?
I'm not. So it's right near the entertainment stage too, so thank you.
Let me see here. Jan Glassman provided a Vesteroy Excellence in Public Service Series update. Applications for the Vesteroy program are still being accepted. Dawson's mom, Leanne, expressed interest in the program and agreed to discuss this with Jan after the meeting. Following brief updates by members of the county delegation regarding upcoming bills and veto overrides, as well as a New Hampshire GOP Executive Committee update by Allen, Governor Buddy Roemer of Louisiana addressed the committee. Governor Roemer had some very interesting perspectives to offer and proved to be an excellent speaker. He stressed that he takes no contributions greater than $100. Our guest speaker, House Majority Leader DJ Betancourt, then addressed the committee. He talked about the budget reductions enacted to reduce state spending, and then specifically addressed reductions in regulations to help small businesses, changes to the state employees' pension system, the cut in funding for hospitals, the reduction in the tobacco tax, and the focus on more local control for education. And following a surprise birthday party for Alan, the meeting adjourned at 7:55 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Alan Glassman filling in for Secretary Karen Brickner. Okay.
When is the boat cruise for next year, sir?
June 1st.
June
Friday, June 1st. And, give me 1 second here. The envelope, please. Now, let me see. That's got to be the latest. Okay. Treasurer's report. Seeing as Karen Brickner is not here, I'll do the treasurer's report. Why not? Anyway, as far as the minutes, we needed a motion to accept the minutes.
I move we accept the minutes.
And do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, treasurer's report. Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. All right, that's done. Now we've got that out of the way. So let's talk about what's going on here in old business. We had the 4-H fair booth, and like I mentioned, Caitlin Woodward from the Romney campaign did man the booth for us, and so we had our Belknap County banners there, as well as Caitlin having Romney material that was offered to all of the presidential campaigns, but only the Romney campaign took us up on that. But it worked out very well, and I was over there as well for a short time and enjoyed myself too, because I had never been to a 4-H fair before. The New Hampshire Sheriff's Association Golf Tournament was held on August 26th. That was a fundraiser for the Sheriff's Association, which is not a political organization. It's actually a nonprofit charitable organization. They do a lot of things for the youth in the area, and it was a very successful tournament, very well run. And as a matter of fact, Ron Paul was one of the sponsors, and he stopped in during the luncheon that was going on after the tournament. Let's see here, under new business, I can give you a quick executive committee meeting update, and that is that, as I'm sure the vast majority of you have heard, and that is that we had a special meeting called on September 1st. Actually, it was our September 19th meeting that was scheduled to be earlier on September 1st that Jack Kimball called, because there was an awful lot going on regarding Jack's tenure as the chairman, and this was a way to bring the matter to a head rather quickly. A vote had been called for on that day to determine whether Jack would be staying as chairman or possibly being removed as chairman. As it turned out, at that executive committee meeting, Jack tendered his resignation, and immediately thereafter, even though it was not discussed at that meeting, Wayne McDonald, who we happen to have here as our guest speaker, became the chairman because of the bylaws which state that if the chairman were to resign, then the vice chairman takes over. So at the moment, we do not have a vice chairman, so that's probably a topic that Wayne may want to discuss when he gets up here. As far as GOP events, I've listed some of the events that are coming up. There are quite a few more, I'll point that out. And I would encourage you to go out to the NHGOP website and take a look at the event calendar, because it's chock full of every kind of event going on all over the state, and it's a way of making sure that you're not missing out. Also, Spectrum Marketing, based out of Manchester. Kerry Marsh is one of the people there, as is Chuck McGee, two well-known people in the Republican Party here in the state. They've taken it upon themselves to publish on a weekly basis an email with all of the information from the NHGOP website as far as events. So if that's something that you want to get on, I can, if you want to come and see me, I can work it out that we'll get your email address added to that mail list. At any rate, one of the most important things on this list, I'm not going to go through them all, there are just a couple that I want to highlight. One is the state representative special election. We did have a special election last week. I think it was last week. Yes, it was last week. And Republican Kevin Janvrin actually defeated the Democrat and the Libertarian candidate for that, and was elected to the House to fill a vacant seat. We do have another one coming up on September 20th, and there's always a need for people to be making phone calls, calling different homes to try to make sure that we get people turning out to vote, because in special elections, its turnout is usually very poor. And in fact, the turnout was, I think, something around 6%, if I recall correctly.
I thought it was higher, but...
Yeah, it might have been higher than
Anyway.
6%, but probably not much higher than that, which is terrible. But that's just the way that it is, I guess. The other thing that I wanted to, actually I'll point out two other things here. One is the First in the Nation celebration with Governor McDonnell on September 26th, and that is probably going to be the largest fundraising event that the NHGOP has held in a number of years now. And I would encourage you to look into this. It's going to be held at the Grapponi Center. I believe it's $100 a head, which of course is not just change in your pocket, I understand that, but it is for a good cause to get the NHGOP up and rolling again and being able to support candidates. The last thing is the New Hampshire House Victory PAC Salute to Republican Speakers, which should be quite an event, because all of the past Republican speakers of the House who are living will be invited, or have been invited to this, and are expected to show up. It's $65 a head, or if you want to get in on a table for 10, it's $600. And as a matter of fact, I've been asked to try to fill a table, and so if anybody is interested in attending that event, please see me, and we'll see what we can do to fill up a table with 10 people and help that event, because they're going to be, with the House Victory PAC, they're going to be supporting all of the House members, of which we have quite a few here this evening, in the next election. Now I'm going to ask Jan for a Vesta Roy update, and give her a microphone too. There you go, talking to the microphone.
Every month I get this, is it working?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Vesta Roy class has been selected for this year. We've got 8 women. Unfortunately, we have no one from Belknap County. And I really would like, during the next year, we've got a couple scholarships that we approved, if people would start thinking about either applying themselves or reaching out to people to apply. And one thing, even though somebody's been involved politically for years, I was involved for 40 years before I went to Vesta Roy. When I moved into New Hampshire permanently, Candy Strait, who is a heavy national fundraiser for the Republican Party, said, Jan, this is a great program to get involved with. And I agree. So if you know somebody that's been politically active but has not served on the state level, have them think about applying, because it's a great program, it's a great way to network, it's a great way to meet people not only in New Hampshire but nationally. So anyway, and it'll be next summer. You have to apply by June. There'll be a number of events coming along during the year, and we'll certainly announce them so people can go to them and meet some of the women that are in the program.
Thank you, Jan. I'd also like to add that at a previous meeting, we did approve 2 scholarships for the Vesta Roy program. So for any women who might be interested in this, or if you know some women who might be interested in this, women from Belknap County could be eligible for a scholarship, which would certainly defray most of the expenses of participating in that program. I'm going to ask now for a Belknap County legislative update, since we have a number of people here from the county. I'm going to ask who would like to tell us what's going on so that everybody else is aware of it. And I've got a microphone to pass to you. Bob? You want this? Sure you do.
We got off on the 30th of June and we just went back today.
Okay, that's a start.
We did override the governor's veto on Senate Bill 88 today, which most of us feel was a great victory for our party, something we promised to do.
Great. Thank you, Tyler. Okay, other updates?
Yes.
Elaine.
SB 3 was tabled. SB 3 came along and it was supposed to do something, but what happened was we passed HB 2 and SB 3 is the exact same
Would
language.
you say what they are? What the
They're
basic-
budget.
Okay, well,
Thank
some
you.
people don't know that.
Oh,
It was fun, retirement, why would I know?
anyway,
Thank you.
Makes me feel better.
you knew that, right?
Retirement.
Yeah, but it's still part of the budget.
They put all the language from SB 3 into into the House Bill 2.
Right. Well, that's the money
And
piece
the
of
problem was it had two different startup dates, effective dates, and so they just tabled it to get rid of it.
Should have given her the mic.
Senate should never
We do
put it
meet
through in the first place.
again on October the 12th.
Okay. Elida, did you have anything more to add on any of the stuff going on?
Well, I could
Maybe
just
the-
add,
The county commission?
the Belknap County Convention met to, for the revenue anticipation notes for Gunstock, and basically, that's it.
And did they approve them?
Yes, approved it,
Okay.
unanimous.
Okay, anyone else? Jeannie?
I just wanted to say that SB 3 actually, what was in House Bill 2 was a better version of Senate Bill 3. And in the Senate, we just kind of as a show to be consistent with our vote, we voted to override the governor's veto, again knowing that SB 3 in the better version was in House Bill 2. So.
Interesting. Okay. Bob?
Yeah, it's just one thing. I've been working with Belknap, the Gunstock area and they've put out an RSP for a hotel at Gunstock. So that's in the works, and hopefully down the road you'll see something, but that's very preliminary. So.
Is it an RFP or a request for?
Request for
information?
RF, whatever they call it.
RF.
Request for
Information.
or
Yeah. I think it's-
proposal, actually. It's actually a request for a proposal for a hotel at the Gunstock area. Hotel only, as far as I know.
This would be at the top of the list, or?
No.
Close enough.
No?
They were the tree things are going.
Yeah, you have to take a lift to
Next
get
time,
up
write down what you
there.
want to say, will you?
Yeah. I said, I got it out.
Anyone else?
Took a while.
Colette, did you have anything other than turning the crane over? Oh,
Yeah.
Jeannie, something more. This is new legislation that just came up?
No, actually, I just wanted to say
Representative for Governor Perry, so you'll probably be seeing a lot of me before the primary. It's been great coming on. I just came onto the Perry campaign recently, and it's been a great time just seeing him come to New Hampshire and bring his record of low taxes, low regulation, also tort reform to New Hampshire, and really just see the response from people. We picked up some great endorsements from some very important folks here in the state. Senator Humphrey, former Senator Gordon Humphrey, has endorsed Governor Perry. Also, two members of the House leadership, Pam Tucker and Pete Silva, have both endorsed the governor, and also John Stephen a couple weeks ago endorsed him and hosted an event for him. So it's been great to see the support from people here in the state. I'm talking to people just like yourselves every day on the phone. It's been great to hear their response to them and really do their due diligence and check them out. So like I said, I'll be seeing you guys again. And if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, want to talk about how to get involved with the Perry campaign, I'll be here afterwards. Thanks.
Great, thank you very much, Josh. And Andrew.
Hi everybody, I'm Andrew Sharp. I'm the Belknap County Coordinator for the Ron Paul campaign. Might know me from, I was here in 2010 helping out Jim Forsyth, who's now the state senator for Belknap County. And he is now the state chairman for the campaign. So he's doing events and speaking on behalf of Congressman Paul. He actually most recently spoke at the New Hampshire Young Republicans Lobster Bake, where Congressman Paul won handily. And that's actually something that I find as a common theme, is that I'm 24, just graduated college a couple years ago, and a lot of the young people do support Congressman Paul. And I tell people when they ask me, it's because of his consistency. It's because whether you agree with him or disagree with him, you know that when he says something, it's because he means it and he believes it, not because he thinks that's what you want to hear, or he's going to get elected because he says it. And if you look back, he's serving in his 12th term as a congressman. He's always voted on principle. If it's not in the Constitution, he's not going to vote for it. If it's an unbalanced budget, he's not going to vote for it. If it's an increase in taxes, he's not going to vote for it. So that's what I say. If you like honesty and you're looking for somebody who, again, whether you agree with him or disagree with him, you know where he stands on the issues. You know what you're going to get if you get him in there. That's Congressman Paul to me. So I'll be standing out there, probably just like everyone else, and I'll have literature and a sign-up sheet if you want to sign up and help out. We've got an office in Concord that we could sure use your help at, and I'll be around the county too. But yeah, feel free to grab me if you want any more information or want my contact info. I'd be happy to give it to you. Thanks, Alan.
Very good. Thank you, Andrew. And now it gives me great pleasure to, well actually, before I go on, is there any other new business that anyone else wants to bring up while we're here?